John Oetjens, and welcome to Schooling Around. Today we check into the choir at Disney, the DIA at OES, doggone good reading classes, and some fine-tuning of PYP. Stay tuned.
Have you liked us on Facebook yet? If not, what are you waiting for? Just go to your Facebook page, go to the search bar, and type in Oxford Community Television.
Who said high school is boring? Around 20 of our OHS choir members just got back from taking the ride of a lifetime at Disney World. Actually, Epcot was the scene, a holiday musical was the program, and there even was a celebrity host. OHS choir director Christopher Card fills us in.
Well, what we had the opportunity to do is go perform at Disney at what they call their Candlelight Processional. It's been a tradition that's been going on at Disney since 1959. We got to be part of that tradition. They perform 3 times a night in a way that draws thousands of people to an outdoor theater to hear traditional Christmas music performed. And we had the honor of auditioning and being selected to perform at Epcot this Candlelight Processional with a 50-piece orchestra, the Voices of Liberty, and celebrity narrator Neil Patrick Harris.
Have you ever been involved in anything down in Disney before?
This is something that I've wanted to do. We've got different areas that we want to perform in, both in America and around the world. So this is one that we wanted to do in the United States as a performance that'd be worthwhile, to perform great music in a place that would bring us exposure and where the kids could have an impact of a lifetime. And this seemed to be the right time to have this performance for the Candlelight Processional.
So what is this really all about?
The performance is a 50-minute presentation of traditional Christmas music, telling the traditional Christmas story in a setting that only Disney can do. They put it on with this great music, the orchestra, just a world-renowned conductor that directs their orchestra there. And just mind-blowing technology with the light show that they do with it and stuff like that. And the only way a Disney can really put on a show. And again, it's just something that people around the world will come to Disney just to see this concert. So
I think you've got something you want to show us right there.
Well, I tell you what, it's an honor to be selected by Disney to be a cast member. And they call these honor choirs. And to be selected as honor choir, you receive this Golden Mickey, which only a few choirs around the country get to bring one of these home. So having auditioned and successfully performed for Disney, we got to bring home a Golden Mickey. So we're excited about that.
How many other choirs were there for that event?
For this performance, we had a number of high school choirs from around the country. We were one of 6 choirs that performed for these 2 performances.
Charity Justine Garner is one of the kids who went. I think she found it exciting.
About 23, I believe it was.
23 kids went. And
yeah.
Were those kids freshmen through senior, or?
Yeah, well, they weren't this year's freshmen, but they were last year's freshmen could audition, because this year they wouldn't have got the music in time.
Oh, I see.
To be able to efficiently perform. So this year, so it was everyone last year.
So what'd you think about all that?
It was amazing. The experience was so just mind-blowing to be a part of. Seeing thousands of people out there, for each performance, and it was so cool to be able to perform for them.
Did you get to meet Neil Patrick Harris?
We didn't get to meet him, but he kind of waved to us whenever he came on stage and everything, just a little generic wave, but it made everyone's day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really
So that put you in the Christmas spirit, I suppose, huh?
For sure. It was great. The live orchestra was something amazing too. Just walking up and seeing the orchestra performing with us, it felt like the music was just completed that way.
What a great opportunity. Next, the DIA comes to OES. Don't go away.
Canine Stray Rescue is Oxford's own local dog rescue. Call them at 248-628-0435 or go to their website dogsaver.org and click on the Canine Stray Rescue League link. Hidden gems lie all around the Leonard area. You may drive past them and not realize the beauty they hold. This is the Leonard Nature Park, located just outside of downtown. Trails surround the area, and there are plenty of places to stop and relax with family or friends. This is just a small part of Leonard, Michigan, seen only on OC TV.
The Detroit Institute of Arts visited Oxford Elementary recently. Claudia Crable describes the scene.
So they're working in teams to create images that they'll use to tell each other stories. And then over here they have a choice of 4 slots where they can build an image using slides and then mix and match them, change their story by changing the image. And then the last activity we have here is where they can select a picture and then they have different options for how to add different effects. And they can look up here to see their image enlarged.
Okay, I see these booths back here. What are those for?
So from here, after they have built their picture and they have their story, they can record the story in this recording booth and play it back to see it.
Olivia Marsh also works for the DIA. She tells us about this mobile program.
Yeah, so DIA Away is a fairly new program. This is the 2nd year. And the idea is to reach out to communities in Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb counties that might not be able to come to the museum because they're so far away. And we want to bring the idea of thinking like an artist to these communities, to give them a little taste of what the museum is and what it does, and then give students a chance to get to practice those skills here.
And it looks like Ford Motor Company had something to do with it, didn't it?
Yeah, I believe they fund it.
Do you know how many schools you're planning on visiting this year?
We have about 60 days that we're in different school districts.
Is that all over southeastern Michigan?
Yeah.
Or? Okay,
Yeah.
very good. And what are some of the types of activities that you've got for the kids right here?
So the truck is in two pieces. So on the side we're on now, this is the more interactive side. And we have several stations where students can create stories. They can create their own worlds. Think about what it might be like to live in the worlds they've created. We also usually have them share with somebody so they can understand that there's more than one way to look at things. And then on the other side, we have images, reproductions of things in our collection that they can explore to think about creativity and artists' inspiration, things like that.
Principal Jeff Brown thinks this is a great idea.
You know, this is the first time that we've done a field trip like this where the DIA came to us instead of us going to them. So this is a first-time field trip. From watching the kids interacting right now, it looks like they're having a blast. Miss Johnston, one of our 4th grade teachers, is the one that organized this for us today. So this is a neat way to do a field trip. It's a lot less expensive than us taking buses and going there, and it gives our kids a pretty cool and fun opportunity.
OES Principal Jeff Brown. Next, the dogs come to Clear Lake. Don't go away. Local resident Jan Britton has a unique hobby. She takes her dog Lucky around to local schools for reading. I asked Jan how long she's been doing this.
Just this year I've been doing this school just this year. Last year I did Auburn Hills and a school in Rochester, but I live in Oxford and it seemed like a good thing to help in your own town.
So you do this on your own, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and so how often do you come here?
I come here once a week. I said we do a school in Auburn Hills once a week, and then we do special needs at Clear Lake once a week.
And what would you say the purpose of the program is?
The purpose is to help the children become more confident readers. There's all different levels. I do K through 2, and it's amazing the difference that you see in each class, and they seem to like it. You like reading to Lucky, Grace?
And how does Lucky figure into all this?
Well, actually, Lucky is who the kids like. I'm Lucky's mom.
Oh.
Matter of fact, when I was shopping the other day, I saw this little girl who I recognized from Auburn Hills, and she kept saying, "Mom, that's Lucky's mom."
So does the dog put the kids more at ease when they read, or so that's really what that all boils down to?
That where they won't maybe read to you, they'll read to her.
This something new?
I I think it's been around for quite some time. Like I said, I had her certified just because I used to teach preschool and I needed something to do. And then when Wendy mentioned it, it was like light bulb. I mean, I love kids, she loved kids, and it's just something that...
When you say certified, what do you mean?
She went through a school training, to see that she was friendly and quiet and calm. We went to local senior centers with the school, and then she had to take a little test, and then she had got this lovely blue neckerchief and a collar and so on. So, but I mean, it's just a natural for her. The funny part was when we went to the test, this lady had this gigantic Burmese mountain dog, and she goes, "Well, part of the test is to walk by the dog." Well, Lucky could care less about dogs. She walked by, and I said, "Now, if you'd had a 2-year-old there, we would have had to stop and visit it." So, she. I've had a lot of dogs, but she's the best one ever.
How old is Lucky?
Lucky is 10 and a half years old. And she just loves to listen to you, doesn't she? Mm-hmm. Come on and sit down.
Yeah,
sweetie.
come on and sit down. Okay, you guys, keep up the good work. Young Grace Cook is one of the readers.
This is a panda bear in the wild. All wild panda bears live in China. Pandas live in mountains areas. They live where there is a lot of
That's a tough one.
vegetarian.
Vegetation, that means like plants.
That's Grace Cook over at Clear Lake, and that's not the only unique reading plan that's going on. Stick around. Daniel Oxford kindergarten teacher Michelle Gould and Oxford Elementary principal Jeff Brown have partnered up for another unique reading program called Reading Buddies. Michelle explains.
Okay, Reading Buddies happens every Friday with our kindergarten class and the third graders at OES. They come over and they read with a kindergarten student.
And so how many kids are involved in this?
We have 23 kindergartners, and there's usually about that much that comes over from OES.
Okay, what's the theory behind this?
That the older kids are reading to the younger ones, and the younger ones are reading to the older ones, practicing their reading skills and strategies.
How long has this been going on?
Since the second week of school.
Oh, okay, but is this brand new this year?
Yes, for us it is.
Wow, how's it working out?
Wonderful. The kids look forward to it, and it's fun watching them interact with the older kids.
OES Principal Jeff Brown tells us more.
So the idea is our third graders need to do some extra reading practice, and as a motivator, sort of their treat for doing all their hard practice over the course of a week, they get to come over and they get to read with some of our kindergarten students each week.
And I'm sure the kindergartners like it, obviously.
The kindergartners have a blast, and the nice part is now that we're getting towards the middle of the year, the kindergartners have books that they can read too. And so we read to the kindergartners for about 15 minutes, and the kindergartners get to read back now for a good 5 minutes or so.
Student Jackson Lundquist gives us his take on all this.
Cause I have 3 partners now, two partners, cause there was a new person on the bus.
So it's a good way to make friends, huh? So, but you read as well. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of books do you like to read?
Almost all of them.
You just like to read. Well, that's a good habit to get into. Sounds like a good plan to me. Next, an update on International Baccalaureate in the grade schools. Stay tuned. Teacher Rita Flynn is the International Baccalaureate Coordinator for the primary year program at Daniel Axford and Oxford Elementary. We stopped by to find out what's new this year.
For instance, we have what's called a self-study coming up in all of our elementary buildings. OES will be first to be reauthorized for the self-study. And what that is we have 2 days where we'll be having visitors come in, and they're going to be looking over really everything that we do in our schools. So everything that we do is weaved into the IB curriculum as well. So for instance,
who are these people and where are they from?
They're from, they're from the IB world, and it's international. So I talk with people from London to Africa to Egypt. We have a network in which we can communicate, but I also have something that I call, it's called the help desk. So if I do have questions in regards to when our visitation is, there's this IB world community where we have people like me that are help to train the teachers and the students and work with administration to support our teachers in the IB philosophy. Mm-hmm. So what the self-study is they're looking at our philosophy, our leadership, our curriculum, our assessment. And I think the biggest thing that people say is, well, what makes you so unique? If you're an IB school, what makes that unique? And it's really the collaboration that's intentionally built into the program. So ever since we've been IB, now I was a teacher when we started the IB process, and the biggest shift I could say as a teacher during that time was we had to collaborate and share ideas. So it really made it an even playing field for teachers that have been teaching for 30 years, and this is going on my 10th year, but
was it kind of a tough transition at first?
I think it depends on your personality. I welcome change, and I'm in the perfect position because I welcome change. But I think for other teachers, absolutely, because it was a shift because you had to share ideas. And to some degree, I figured out, I really wanted to get to the core of, why at times we may not want to share how we're doing things in the classroom. And it's not because we don't want to share because we want to have it to ourselves. It's we think, well, are they going to really like it? I don't want to put one more thing on their plate. Teachers are very conscious of each other and their feelings. They're always really mindful of that. So it's never coming from a negative place. It's always coming from a positive place. And what the self-study is doing too is really, I was trying to define the self-study because it's kind of a strange name to call it to. It's really reflecting on all the good you do in the building. And I think that's another thing that makes IB really special is it forces you to reflect, because that's when the learning happens.
Student exhibition projects are an important part of PYP. So what is the impact of all this on that?
And I would have to say that's something that really, I think if there's ever any misconceptions or if people don't fully understand what IB is all about, they understand it when they understand most when their child is a 5th grader during an exhibition, because they have mastered the 5 essential elements of IB, which is taking action, making the world a better place, the attitudes, which some people like to refer to them as those character traits, like showing appreciation, being curious. And then we have our concepts. We teach kids to ask really good questions to get to know each other and the world around them. And it's important to ask good questions because that's how we get to know each other. And I like to tell the kids too, if I do my personal visitations, I say, if you're not clicking with someone, what do you know about them? And how can you get to know them better? And we have certain questions that we can ask other children to make connections with them, because really if students aren't seeing eye to eye but they get to know them, they're going to find a common ground and they'll learn to appreciate them and be open-minded to them. So what is beautiful about the curriculum and what makes me feel really strongly about it is we're giving students skills to be able to work really exceptionally well with one another, and all of these things are part of that. So our 5th graders are experts at that questioning piece. And then we teach them skills. They're called transdisciplinary skills, which is a really big term, but really it's life skills. So how do you communicate? Well, I can say be a communicator, but we intentionally teach it to say, well, when you communicate, you have to be a good listener. You have to use your heart. You have to be mindful of their feelings. You have to read their body language. There's different ways of communicating. There's reading, there's writing, there's speaking, there's viewing. And exhibition highlights all of these skills that the kids are supposed to use.
IB exhibition is a special event.
They have 6 weeks to dig deep into something they're passionate about. So we say, what is a local or global issue you would like to make a difference on? So we don't just say take action, we teach them and scaffold them in how to do it. So let's say it's the effects of smoking, and this one has been brought up, but it's something that kids recognize and they know it shouldn't happen. They know something's wrong with it. They see the effects on their family. It's something for children that it's a sign that they just know that shouldn't be happening. They see non-smoking signs. It's like very visual for them. So we say, well, you have to do your research, but we teach them how to research not just on the internet or in a book, but through people. And we give them hands-on skills to interview people. So we have people come in. For instance, we would have a nurse come in or a veterinarian come in to show the effects of smoking on your animals in your home, the effects of smoking on your internal organs, and then we'll also have them interview a dentist, the effects of smoking on your teeth. And then they put together information in regards to how would they like to present this, what they could do to take action on it, and then they present an exhibition night. And what makes exhibition so special is a lot of people think that exhibition is to just highlight what the kids know, and we're doing that, but really we're educating the public to say we need you to make a difference, because a lot of the topics, these aren't affecting the kids yet. Our kids aren't the ones that are smoking. It's their parents. It's someone personal in their life that they want to make a shift in their life. So the educational piece, and something that was really profound, and we interview kids a lot. We interview parents and teachers a lot, like we're doing right now. And the kids will say, I used to think that someone else was going to take care of a problem, and now I know I can take care of a problem.
I asked Rita if there was a unique exhibition project that just blew her away.
It was in regards to cyberbullying.
Yes.
Bullying tends to also tug at the students' hearts too, because they have an understanding of it. We have a curriculum that aligns with IB. It's called OHS. So teachers teach a unit every week, a lesson every week that really highlights something we need to focus on. Like, for instance, maybe it's how do we make a really positive classroom climate? Well, there's been research. I mean, they're both, IB and OHS are both based on research. Research is done when you say a child's name and you refer to them, and you know everyone's name in the class, and you refer to them by their name, and you look them in the eye. That's something that builds culture. So maybe it's a lesson that has to do just with that. And that's where maybe it would start at DA. And then it builds on, so by the time they're in 5th grade, they know about cyberbullying. So they know that students can text each other and be very aggressive with their words and not even have to look at someone and hurt their feelings. So OHS gives lessons like, what do you do when this happens? How do you build classroom culture? How can we support our students to give them the skills to handle any kind of abusive things that come their way. So students were passionate about cyberbullying, and for their exhibition they took action on this. And something that really blew me away, not only their presentation, but they put together a video that you helped videotape them after they choreographed on the effects that cyberbullying has on students. But the piece, it's not just the end product it's a process that really blew me away. We have, I mean, I've shook hands and, you know, greeted people and hugged people and gave them tours to over 100 people that have come through our doors for exhibition. But one of the most powerful things in the process of exhibition that blew me away would have to be when we had our high schoolers come in from Bully Busters and our high schoolers talk to our 5th graders. Our kids are very, very intuitive and want to learn from anyone that comes in our building because they're a visitor. It makes it very special. So that conversation and that dialogue is very rich and very powerful. But when you have kids talking to kids, they connect in a very special, unique way too. And when they gave examples, when the high schoolers gave examples, they were being interviewed by our 5th graders, that dialogue was very, very, very profound, and it ended up being a time for them to share. Their comfort level was very high, so they shared experiences. And what came out of the interview, which was for really a primary resource for the research for exhibition, they had answers of how to deal with things. And they had real life experience of these high schoolers sharing what they could do to support them. And we have teachers that teach these lessons every single week. But exhibition gave us this 6-week window to be open to, let's think outside of the box. Let's bring in some students, let's bring in some experts, and what better experts than kids that have dealt with it firsthand and can help encourage these students to give them this armor of words, this armor of confidence, and this armor of knowledge to be able to handle the world outside of these walls. Right now we can protect them, but part of the IB philosophy is preparing them for the world that's to come and to make them really well-rounded individuals.
And IB even extends to social graces.
The HELP is an acronym for something. So it stands for firm, handshake, eye contact, to listen, to learn, to project your voice, and to have good posture. So we taught our students to do a really good handshake. So for all the kids that are greeting all of these adults to be able to to know how to initiate a conversation, to end a conversation. And that was like one of the very simple steps. But at the same time, they learned a lot from that, because that's a life skill. A handshake goes a far way.
A new way of teaching social skills.
Exactly. And we were inspired, that was inspired from a Ron Clark book study that we were doing at OES. We were really big Ron Clark fans. And now both schools, DA and OES, something else that is really new that has weaved in beautifully with our curriculum is cultures of thinking. So there's a book club happening at both buildings, at DA and OES, and we're diving into really getting our students to share their thinking, and we're teaching them really intentional skills to do that. And teachers just have been really, really open and just eager to learn, because it's really complemented what we do here already. But you can see it as you roam our halls. You'll see all of these different learning strategies here at DA, and they're highlighting what we do so great with like learning about cultures of thinking too.
Now's the time of year the kids are starting to plan.
We are constantly scaffolding and giving them ideas. So they're watching like CNN News to find out like what's happening globally that you would be interested in. And we call them hot topics. So we're feeding them little things and planting those seeds of like, what is something you could be interested in? And they know exhibition is coming. Something that I've done in the past too was, there was like a stress with exhibition. They knew it was something big. And I would come in and do, what do you know? What do you want to know? About exhibition, just to kind of get that comfort level with kids. So right now we're really in like the hot topic portion, but pretty soon it will start in April, and our exhibition for OES will be May 3rd. It will really kick off. So that is when they'll have to really narrow down what their topic will be. But right now we're just exploring just local and global issues.
Exciting times coming up. That's Schooling Around for this week. Thanks to Kyle Snades at the controls, Dan Zweiss at the editing desk, and you for watching. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.